దేశ విద్యారంగానికి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ విద్యారంగం మోడల్గా నిలుస్తోందని తిరుపతిలో నిర్వహించిన ఇండియా టుడే సమ్మిట్లో ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ స్పష్టం చేశారు. ఏపీలోని అత్యంత సామాన్య కుటుంబాలకు చెందిన విద్యార్థులు సైతం అమెరికా రాజధాని వాషింగ్టన్ డీసీలో పర్యటించడం గొప్ప విషయమని సీనియర్ జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయి ప్రశంసించారు. ఇండియా టుడే సమ్మిట్లో భాగంగా ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డితో సీనియర్ జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయి చేసిన చర్చలో ఏపీ విద్యారంగ సంస్కరణలు అనేకం ప్రస్తావనకు వచ్చాయి. నాణ్యమైన విద్యకు పెద్దపీట వేశామని, క్వాలిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అనేది ప్రతి ఒక్కరి హక్కు కావాలి అని సీఎం వైఎస్ జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి అన్నారు.
Journalists, we don't invest enough in education. In fact, education and health, which really are critical to building a better society. So is this a shift that you're trying to make in the way you see governance when you say that you want to put Andhra Pradesh on the map when it comes to education by bringing in new technologies, by trying to bridge the divide between rural and urban students, between government schools and private schools? Is this something close to your heart, or do you believe every politician now needs to look at education as their number one priority sector?
In fact, Rajdeep, the only way we can at some stage think about removing poverty or eradicating poverty, the only way I strongly believe is by quality education. A right to education is no longer the buzzword. A right to quality education should become the buzzword. What is the point in bringing up an education system where the poor get to study something else, where the rich study something else, where the poor get to study only Telugu medium, where the government schools only teach Telugu medium, whereas the aspiration and whereas the rich who can afford get to be educated in English medium. So if that were to be the divide, then that division between the rich and the poor would never be wiped out. It would continue until and unless it's on par with what the rich could afford. That is where these changes have originated from that thought. In fact, if I would want to see my government children, the downtrodden children, get the same education as my own children would get, or probably your own children would get, or probably any of the affluent class parents would provide for their children.
వైఎస్ జగన్ పాలన ప్రారంభమైన తర్వాత విద్యా వైద్య రంగాలపై ప్రత్యేక ఫోకస్ పెట్టారు. మనం మన పిల్లలకి ఇచ్చే అసలైన ఆస్తి చదువే అని ఆయన గట్టిగా చెప్పారు. అందుకోసం అనేక విద్యారంగ పథకాలను తీసుకొచ్చారు. వాటిని పకడ్బందీగా అమలు చేస్తూనే పలు విధానపరమైన నిర్ణయాలు తీసుకున్నారు. అందులో ఒకటి ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం టోఫెల్ పరీక్ష. ఈ విప్లవాత్మక నిర్ణయాలపై అనేక విమర్శలు వచ్చాయి. వాటికి ఏం సమాధానం చెబుతారని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయి అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకు ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ తనదైన శైలిలో బదిలిస్తూ విమర్శకులు తమ పిల్లల్ని ఏ మీడియంలో చదివిస్తున్నారు అని అడిగారు.
Because you have made making English medium schools or teaching English across schools one of the priority areas across government schools. Even bringing in TOEFL from class 3, I mean an exam which is a global exam, you bring it into schools from class 3 onwards, they get exposed to English, which has led to some criticism, including from the former Vice President Venkaiah Naidu ji, who said, we should be teaching Telugu medium to our schools. Are you diminishing Telugu by forcing students to learn English? How do you respond to that?
See, what is very important, Rajdeep, is the so-called people who criticize me on government schools being converted into English medium. But one straight question what they should ask themselves is their children and their grandchildren. What are they studying? Are they sending their children and their grandchildren also to Telugu medium schools? That's the first question what anybody should be asking themselves before they could question me on my initiative towards English medium schools.
So your answer to Venkaiah Naidu is essentially, please tell us, sir, where did you send your children or your grandchildren to? You're saying you want to bridge that gap and you believe English is a critical element, because is it easy for someone who's in a small village in Andhra Pradesh to immediately be able to be exposed to English language? Will it lead to dropouts is the fear? Will it lead to a disruption in their education?
Not so, Rajdeep, because it's a comprehensive plan of action which has been put in place. To begin with, we've ensured that every textbook is bilingual. One page Telugu, one page English. All our textbooks are bilingual. We've ensured that Byju's content is also integrated into our content. We've also ensured that the facilities in our government schools are totally upgraded. There's a Nadu Nedu program which speaks of only upgrading the infrastructure in school. Every classroom going forward from 6th and above, you have IFPs. In fact, we have close to 62,000 classrooms, which are 6th and above. So far as we speak, we've already fitted close to 40,000 IFPs. And my team had given me a report that the balance would be also done. They'd given me a date of Jan end, but government, being government, maybe on the higher side, maybe Feb. Maybe by Feb end at least, definitely, all the classrooms, the balance of the classrooms of 20,000 also would be fitted with IFPs. So it's a transition what you're moving towards. With bilingual textbooks, with subject teacher concept from 3rd grade onwards, with capacity building of the teachers also taking place simultaneously, with IFPs, with Byju's content, all this put together, and a student when he reaches the 8th grade, we are on December 21st, we also give them tabs. So every student, government student who is 8th class gets a tab also in the 8th class with the preloaded Byju's content.
Every government student in Andhra Pradesh in 8th standard gets a tablet with this content readily available. The reason I'm asking you is because one of the things in COVID we found was the vast digital divide. Those who did not have access to technology found themselves losing out across the country. And Andhra also at that time was no exception. It was a difficult period for all. Are you saying today with confidence that you will have over the next few years, since they've now got it in 8th, over the next 3 years, every student 8th, 9th and 10th in Andhra Pradesh will have a tablet that he or she can work out of?
8th and 9th children they already have tablets, because this is 2 years have already passed. We started off, the whole theme is the moment they get to the 8th class, on December 21st, we give them tabs. So
that's your birthday. That's your birthday gift to Andhra Pradesh, is a tablet. Right? Effectively, it's not a bad birthday to give. Bad birthday gift to be giving people.
It's usually that I go to these schools, spend time with the children there on my birthday. So on that particular day, the thing that is closest to my heart, I do it. So.
సాధారణంగా ప్రభుత్వాలు చేపట్టే పనులు అంత వేగంగా జరగవని అంటారు. ఈ నేపథ్యంలో చూసినప్పుడు మీరు మీ పాలనా యంత్రాంగాన్ని తగిన విధంగా ప్రోత్సహిస్తున్నారా? ఐబీ సిలబస్ కూడా ప్రవేశపెట్టాలనుకుంటున్నారు కదా, ఇది తొందరపాటు చర్య అని ప్రతిపక్షాలు విమర్శిస్తున్నాయి. దీనిపై మీ సమాధానం ఏంటి అని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకు ఐబీ సిలబస్ విధానాలు భవిష్యత్తులో రాబోయే ప్రయోజనాల గురించి ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ సమగ్రమైన సమాధానం ఇచ్చారు. రాష్ట్ర విద్యార్థులు పేద ధనికని తేడా లేకుండా అంతర్జాతీయ స్థాయిలో పోటీ పడాలన్నదే తన ప్రభుత్వ లక్ష్యమని అన్నారు.
Not just nationally but globally competitive. You're bringing even international baccalaureate, you know, the kind of prestigious education that is only seen in the big city schools. Is it too much? Are you going too fast at times? Do you worry that, because that's the criticism from opposition parties, it will lead to dropouts, enrollments will drop out, parents will wonder, you know, is this the education I want to give my children, or do you believe that aspirational India is ready for it?
With IB, the thing is, in fact, IB is, they're joining our SCERT, our board, state board, on 31st. So on that from that particular day, IB would be part of our SCERT, our board. The roadmap with IB is the first year, that is 20 till June 25. It's only going to be capacity building to the teachers, the whole year. Then going forward from from 25 onwards, 2025 June onwards, going forward, one class per year. That is, they start off with the first class. Then year after that, the transformation into IB is moved into second class. Then the third class. By 2035, you would have our children in government schools appear exams competing for an IB certificate. It's going to be a certificate with the state government collaboration with IB. And this certificate would be the same certificate on par with international baccalaureate certificate given abroad, given anywhere internationally. So that is the roadmap with IB. The reason why we're just moving in this direction is because, as I said, it is the quality of education which is the most significant thing. If the quality of education is not good enough, our children can never compete globally. So we're not talking about India as one country now. Now the world has become a next door place. So we're talking about a situation where our children would have to be competing globally. And you cannot say that only the rich can compete globally. Then you would never see an India, an aspirational India, if only the rich can compete with globally. So you need to ensure that the downtrodden section catches up. You need to ensure that the downtrodden section are equipped with the skills going forward, that they could be competing globally.
విద్యారంగంలో ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ చూపుతున్న దార్శనికతను ఇండియా టుడే సీనియర్ జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ ప్రశంసించారు. రాష్ట్రంలోని ఓ మారుమూల పల్లె నుంచి వచ్చిన విద్యార్థి అంతర్జాతీయ స్థాయిలో పోటీ పడాలని ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ లక్ష్యం గొప్పదన్నారు. ఈ నేపథ్యంలో విద్యార్థులను ఆ స్థాయిలోకి తీసుకుపోవడానికి నాణ్యమైన ఉపాధ్యాయులు ఉన్నారా అని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ సీఎం వైఎస్ జగన్ను ప్రశ్నించారు. దానికి సీఎం బదులిస్తూ తాము ఒక గొప్ప ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నామని అన్నారు. ఐబీ విధానం ద్వారా విప్లవాత్మకమైన మార్పులు తెస్తామని అన్నారు.
Two questions arise from what you've just said. It's a great vision to make, let's say, someone in rural Guntur be able to compete with someone in the United States or in any Western country. But capacity building in terms of teachers, to have those quality teachers who can actually be able to impart this education, because there's a sense that, as I said, are you going too fast? Will you be able to get enough teachers in your government schools who can provide that quality education that you speak of?
As I said, it is an effort combined with IB. IB and the state government are coming together. In fact, all my appreciation and thanks to IB as well. The Director General, the people there in IB, after we had interacted with them, in fact, I personally also interacted, we could convince them to become part of us. So now IB officially is setting up their office alongside our SCERT, becoming part of SCERT, and they're moving here. So this is the game changer. Now they become part of us. So now with this vision, the goal is 2035. Our children would appear for 10th writing IB. So that is the goal with which the state government and IB together are working towards.
So it's a 12-year project. You're saying over these 12 years, you will build that capacity with teachers, with the support of IB is what you're claiming.
Absolutely. The first year going for capacity building of the teachers. Then onwards, every year, one class. First, the first grade, then the second grade, then the third grade, then the fourth grade, fifth, sixth, and so on and so forth, till they reach the 10th, and then 11th and 12th.
రాబోయే సంవత్సరాల్లో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ విద్యారంగంలో మరిన్ని విప్లవాత్మకమైన మార్పులు రానున్నాయి. ఏపీ విద్యార్థులు ప్రతి విషయంలోనూ ముందడుగు వేసేలా ఐపీ విద్యా విధానంలో విద్యార్థులకు బోధన అందజేయాలని ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ ప్రణాళికలు రచించి అమల్లోకి తెస్తున్నారు. దీనికి పెద్ద ఎత్తున నిధులు అవసరమవుతాయి కదా అని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ ప్రశ్నించారు. దీనికి అట్టడుగు కుటుంబాల విద్యార్థులకు కూడా అంతర్జాతీయ స్థాయి విద్యను అందించవచ్చనేది ప్రపంచానికి తెలిపేందుకు ఏపీ ప్రభుత్వం ఐబీ సంస్థ కలిసి పనిచేస్తున్న శిక్షణ బోధనల గురించి సమగ్రంగా మాట్లాడారు.
Some believe a huge amount of resources, funds. Governments are often accused of not investing enough in education. For you, do you believe that that is again a question? Do you have enough funds? Does Andhra Pradesh today have the kind of funds to realize this vision, this dream that you have?
Funds per se, Rajdeep, IB is also understanding enough that this is a government project. To them, they also want to prove to the world that IB is not just only for the aloof. So there has been an understanding reached with IB that they also become part of the state government. That being the case, it's not exactly going to be that kind of royalties what the high premium schools usually pay for the IBs, what they would be asking for from the state government. So it's an effort from the state government and IB together to get to a place to showcase to the world that the downtrodden sections can also be taught IB, quality of education could be made available here. And as far as the funds are concerned, Rajdeep, the school infrastructure is being upgraded totally. It's been a process where the total outlay is approximately, our people have projected the total outlay would be approximately 14,000 crores. We've already spent 8,300 crores already. We have a total of capacity of 44,000 schools. We've Nadu Nedu phase 1, 15,575 schools have already been completed. The second phase, unique schools of another 16,000 or so, or also the second phase activities going on in Nadu Nedu. We would be completing by this March or so. The second phase, which would be the last step for IFP panels also to be fitted in. So going forward in two phases, covering almost 2/3 of the school, more or less is complete. The balance third phase, we would be taking up this activity in next year, and then we would be completing going forward in the next 1 or 2 years.
2018లో ఏపీ పాఠశాలలో చేరుతున్న విద్యార్థుల సంఖ్య 84.48%. అంతేకాదు డ్రాప్అవుట్స్ చాలా ఉండేవి. విద్యార్థుల మధ్యలోనే చదువులు ఆపేవారు. అలాంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో 2019లో ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా పాలనా పగ్గాలు చేపట్టిన సీఎం వైఎస్ జగన్ ఏపీ విద్యారంగంలో సమూల మార్పులు తేవడానికి గాను పలు పథకాలను తీసుకొచ్చారు. అమ్మ ఒడి లాంటి పథకాల ద్వారా డ్రాప్అవుట్స్ను తగ్గించారు. దీనిపై మాట్లాడిన ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి రాష్ట్రంలో అమలవుతున్న వినూత్న పథకాల గురించి ఇండియా టుడే ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సమ్మిట్లో సమగ్రంగా వివరించారు.
I look at some of Andhra Pradesh's numbers. In 2018, Andhra Pradesh's gross enrollment ratio for primary education was 84.48% compared to a national average of 99.21%. Now, how do you make sure that those children don't drop out? That many of these children who are sort of throwing this great dream of giving them an opportunity to compete with the best and have the best systems, how do you do that? You have this scheme, the Jagan Amma Bodi. Are you basically doing what the Modi model is, if I may say so? Direct benefit transfers. I mean, not just Mr. Modi, but most governments now doing, put money in people's pocket and make sure that that money is used for a child's education.
In fact, what we're doing currently is, Rajdeep, when we had first visualized the situation, our state was probably figuring in the bottommost, the GER ratio, as you just spoke about, figuring in the bottommost, probably in 36, 30, probably then it was...
Yeah, you were among the lower ranked states.
Probably then we were out of 36 then, 36 states and union territories put together. Out of those 36, we were probably 32 or 33 then, figuring in the bottommost list. So that being the GER ratio, it was imperative on our part to come up with innovative things. One, figuring out as to why the children are not going to schools. It started off from there, and then the kind of transformation that is being brought about in schools, the transformation what has been brought about in midday meals. You know, our midday meals is probably one among the very few states probably who can boast about it. Every day the child eats a different menu. It's called Goru Mudda. We've christened that midday meal program as Goru Mudda, where a child eats a different food every day, and it's a menu.
It's interesting you're saying that, because I know that Tamil Nadu takes great pride in their midday meal scheme. They say how we give mango shake to students. Are you telling me Monday to Friday you give 5 different meals to your students?
Absolutely.
Our reporters can go and check this out across schools of Andhra Pradesh.
I thought they had already done it, but...
Yes, some of them have gone to school, but we will go back to each and every one since you're saying it.
You should, in fact. So from there, the transformation started. We've improved the quality of food in a midday meal, a motivating factor for parents to send children to school. Then infrastructure in the school was totally upgraded, is being upgraded, where we've targeted 10 specific modifications in schools which are to be done. Clean toilets, the classrooms, 6th and above IFPs, repairs, the furniture being upgraded, clean drinking water. These kind of specific details, what every school should have. So we focused on that, and we ensured that these 10 are ticked off in every school.
How do you ensure oversight that what you're saying in Vijayawada is being implemented in every corner of the state? How do you ensure some element of accountability from each and every school? Because we've seen in the past, government schools have not maintained the standards that they should. There are exceptions.
We have, there's a thorough monitoring system in place. The headmasters, the school committees, the joint collectors, the collectors. There's a monitoring system in place, and every school is monitored. And at my level, since I personally monitor what's happening, and I periodically take reviews, not only with the education department also, but with also the collectors also. So there is an element of Once, once if the CM himself is taking reviews, the government automatically moves on a particular subject.
2019 మే నెలలో అధికారంలోకి వచ్చిన వైఎస్ జగన్ అనేక విద్యారంగ పథకాలను అమల్లోకి తెచ్చారు. అమ్మఒడి, విద్యా దీవెన, వసతి దీవెన, విద్యా కానుక, నాడు నేడు లాంటి పథకాలు, విశిష్ట కార్యక్రమాలు రాష్ట్ర విద్యారంగం దిశను మార్చేస్తూ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ నేపథ్యంలో ఆయా పథకాల అమలును ఎలా పర్యవేక్షిస్తున్నారు, నిరుద్యోగ సమస్యను ఎలా పరిష్కరిస్తున్నారు అంటూ ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ సంధించిన ప్రశ్నలకు ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ స్పష్టమైన సమాధానాలు ఇచ్చారు. పాఠశాల విద్యతో పాటుగా ఉన్నత విద్యపై పెడుతున్న ఫోకస్ గురించి సాక్ష్యాలతో సహా వివరించారు.
Now I know why you spend so little time in Delhi, because you've got to do this level of micromanagement here in Andhra Pradesh. But one challenge, of course, is not just quality education, but also ensuring that education makes people employable. One of the challenges you've had in Andhra, even before you came to power, is unemployment. Graduates from Andhra had one of the highest unemployment rates in India at 35%. Is that a challenge to provide skills, make them either entrepreneurial or provide them the skills that will enable them to compete in this increasingly globalizing world?
The focus was just not only on schools alone, Rajdeep. Even the higher education also, a lot of focus was applied on. So much so that we changed the curriculum, made it more job-oriented. Our degrees, which are usually 3-year courses, are now internship is made mandatory in those courses, where the summer vacation also somebody utilizes for internship. And and all these courses, degree courses, are made 4 years with an honors degree as well. So you have online verticals, you have certificate giving online verticals also being made, which are also being offered as part of the curriculum. So you have internship, which is mandatory. You have online verticals, part of the curriculum. In fact, so much so that we're also we're inking a deal with edX. Going forward, I think next month we are inking a deal with them, where almost 1,800 subjects, if I'm correct, 1,800 subjects. What we're doing, Rajdeep, is we're giving in a particular subject, if somebody were to take, we're improving the verticals, making it part of the curriculum with credits. And these subjects are going to be directly from Harvard, LSE, these kind of premium institutes through edX would be offering these courses online.
Give me an example of a possible course that you think could be offered. Computers, what would be offered?
Say for instance, say BCom, for instance, or none of them know about asset management. None of them know about risk management. These kind of verticals you will find only in the Western world. A degree is offered which has got multiple verticals, specializations, which are offered, which are available to a student only in the Western world. Now what we're doing is we're bringing those verticals, become part of our curriculum here through online education, where credits are offered. And this certificate is from that particular university directly, with Harvard, with LSE, with LBS, and all these people become part of, through edX, become part of our curriculum. And this examination is conducted online once again, with the certificate finally being issued by these premium institute. LSE would give a certificate, Harvard would give a certificate. So that's particular subject would now become a part of our curriculum with that particular subject certified by them.
కేరళ మోడల్, అరవింద్ కేజ్రీవాల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ విధానాలుగా వైఎస్ జగన్ తనదైన రీతిలో విద్యారంగంలో మార్పులు తెస్తున్నట్లుగా ఉందని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ చమత్కరించారు. విద్యారంగ పథకాలు సంస్కరణల ద్వారా ప్రజల ఆదరణ పొంది తిరిగి ముఖ్యమంత్రి కావాలనేదే మీ ఆలోచన అని ఇండియా టుడే జర్నలిస్ట్ రాజ్దీప్ సర్దేశాయ్ అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకు ముఖ్యమంత్రి వైఎస్ జగన్ తనదైన శైలిలో జవాబిచ్చారు. పిల్లలు ఓటర్లు కాదు కాబట్టి సాధారణంగా నాయకులు వారిపై శ్రద్ధ పెట్టారని అన్నారు. తన ప్రభుత్వం మాత్రం అలా ఆలోచించలేదని, పేదరికాన్ని నిర్మూలించడానికి విద్యారంగంలో విప్లవాత్మక విశిష్ట పథకాలను అమలు చేస్తున్నామని అన్నారు.
The reason, Jagan Mohan Reddy ji is because over the years there was the Kerala model that pushed for literacy. There's Arvind Kejriwal who also talks about raising the bar when it comes to government schools. But you seem to be building your own unique model. It's the Hyderabad public school student who's now decided that you want to invest in education for the future. Do you believe education can win you elections? That if I go to the people, and you've got an election and we'll come to politics in a moment, but I go to the people and say, look, I have done ABC for you in the field of education. Do you believe that this vision of yours can win you also elections? Or are elections disconnected from your vision for education?
See, politics is something else, Rajdeep. Usually nobody bothers about the children, nobody bothers about the students because they are not voters. That's unfortunately the problem with our political leaders. But then the fact is, until and unless those lives are touched, are changed, you would never come to a stage where poverty could be removed, where poverty could be eradicated. Only with quality education given to these children in probably 10 years' time, where this generation actually who's in the first class comes out of the college, maybe 10th and 12th and then the college. In 10 years' time or 12 years' time or 13 years' time, you would see this generation actually displayed to the world. And when they are displayed to the world, you would actually be seeing such a kind of transformation that the pool, that the quality, what this quality of education would provide, this pool of students would be far more superior when compared to anybody even in the globe. I mean, they would be competing at the global level.
So you're saying your vision is moving from literacy levels to quality education levels. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the Chief Minister deserves a big hand in a way for reflecting that vision so openly. Even if you are half successful in this, you would have created some kind of an Andhra model for education.